What's up, guys? Overlook Attacking here, and I hope you liked my intro. Obviously, it could be a lot better. This is just like a prototype that I'm just running right now. It's mainly music because the sound file I spent like 3 hours like making a perfect GIF, but Share Factory gave me a middle finger. Don't worry, I'll give them a middle finger right back when I switch to OBS or Sony Vegas. But until then, I'll just bear with it. This is going to be my first commentary, and as the title suggests, I'm going to compare the possibilities that Bungie could have done, considering the fact that the like live streams and the community thinks of Rise of Iron. It seems to be like a success, but but in reality though, if you think about it, I'll explain why I believe Rise of Iron isn't really the best of what they could offer. For instance, but before we look towards the future or potential futures, oh, and speaking of potential futures, you'll see by the end of the video. That's a little sneak peek. But we have to analyze what happened before and their previous successes. In this case, the Taken King. The Taken King was an overwhelming success, even for its price being 267% more than typical DLCs. The amount of content and the level of effort put into the content just completely coincides mostly any price, like a tangible price. I mean, it has great lore, great gameplay, the decent replayability, well, at least in the beginning, with raids, Prison of Elders, because I consider April update to be Taken King, and Trials of Osiris. It brings in new light level, which in the beginning was didn't really feel like it felt a bit unattainable, but they quickly solved that issue with various stuff in the April update. They released new instead of typical RNG as it was in year one, Bungie had quests with set items at the end, and although this decreased the amount of time people spend raw activities, it did increase the playability of certain activities. For instance, if you want a Doctrine of Passing, you do Trials of Osiris. If you want the Sleeper Simulant, you would do the first Firewall mission and the quest that follows after it. The story, which is what I consider to be one of the most crucial part of the game, it was very, very great in the Taken King, as opposed to the darkness, just like a random threat that few people even know would exist, and how there's 8 different theories on what the darkness really is. You're actually given a set enemy, Oryx. You see, Oryx changes up the style of enemies, and not to mention he's not your typical raid boss, because as opposed to Atheon and Crota, he is the only perhaps the boss that you would fight him 6 times, with the 6th being the most powerful in the raid itself. So you have sort of clues as to what his abilities really are, but at the same time, once you fight him for the first time, you're genuinely surprised at what he can do and how to overcome him. As a result, he is sort of like that whole feeling of like how Bungie described, the whole thing about this guy is coming to take all of our worlds, and I just want to overcome him and wear his ass on a hat. I like that part. But it's like that whole thing of a tangible enemy, but not just some darkness force that exists. And you who the hell was Atheon before he even stepped into the Vault of Glass? The only a reference of Crota you have is within a freaking just from a few grimoire stories in the grimoire, and Eris just talks about it. But does she ever even tell you what Crota is and what powers he have? No, she just says he wiped out a whole fire team. But when you went to that was just his lieutenants, right? You never even knew who Crota was until you stepped into the raid, and you're like, oh, that's Crota. You don't even feel disappointed because there's no build up, no suspense. It was terrible. Oryx immediately off like literally the first mission in Taken King, you literally step in, like you go to a firebase on Phobos and you're like, wait, something's wrong. This is like one of the greatest staging grounds of the Cabal, and it just got torn to crap. Like that whole feeling of horror, and then when you eventually do step into that room, and Eris Morn's like, he's here, and it's like a fucking horror movie. It's like that whole once you recover from that initial shock, oh my god, it's like an adrenaline ride. Like that first mission, if you do it, it was done perfectly, man. I'm telling you, it was perfect. And then if you, if you consider like the mission to be played like as in heroic, like if you have a limited time to get to the ship, oh my god, that would have been perfect. Like orgasm. Like, and then Bungie introduced new types of missions. For instance, you have the stealth mission in Last Rites. You have the oh shit, we gotta get the hell out of here mission in Lost to Light. You have actually I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. But then you have like new forms of strikes. You have like new types of strikes. You would have like the fog mechanic inside of the Dark Blade. You would have the whole like protecting the relic like effect inside of the restorative mind of the Xbox users. Sorry. You would have you actually have the whole of thing of like the devil, like the which one is the greater evil, right? Of like the choosing which the Bond brothers to kill. You would have the like the whole thing of waves in like actual waves inside of the like the saber shank. And as a result, like it complete like when Taken King came out, it completely changed the game, and I gotta give Bungie credit for that. Even like I could shit talk the Dark Below for its lack of content and overall the content that was like literally on this DLC. I can shit talk House of Wolves because the only thing that kept it from being the outhouse of Wolves was the Trials of Osiris. As for the Taken King, the replayability was great, the story was amazing, and Bungie, I'll give Bungie props for that. The only issue I had with it was the April update stuff. Really should have came with the start, because that would have boosted replayability, and they should have had like increased light level like every like month or so, so it gives you like something to grind for. But other than that, they nailed it down perfectly. But now let's talk about the Rise of Iron, what we know about it so far. The Rise of Iron is a Fallen-themed expansion set to come out on September 20th, 2016. And it features a new area known as the Plague Lands, one strike as opposed to the four or five that the Taken King had, one raid obviously, like a new patrol mission, a few Crucible maps, one patrol game mode as opposed to like the 2 or 3 that or 4 that Taken King had. And it features like a remastering of the Cosmodrome. Now, this might seem alright, on the in the live stream, but in all honesty, though, it doesn't really seem that big of a change. Like it would take like 2 months to make. It's like a revamping of the. I don't know how big the Plague Lens is, but the Cosmodrome itself wouldn't take more than 2 months unless they like were fooling around a lot when they were making it. But think about it this way: the Cosmodrome is an area that we're kind of like very, very familiar with. That's the area we started off with. That's the areas that most Guardians would like buy the game for, try the game for a day, would sort of familiarize themselves with the most, as opposed to say like some place like the Ishtar Sink or the Buried City. As a result, I mean, I guess when you remaster it, like an area that people are most common with, it's a great idea. But out of all the areas you could have remastered, would you really like succeed the most with remastering the Cosmodrome? If you remastered, say, the Academy, where you would open up new vaults, new laboratories, or same thing with someplace on, say, Mars, in like the buried city. That in itself could leave you with a bunch of more possibilities, because the Cosmodrome is kind of dead, in all honesty. But and it's sort of like decaying too. Like the whole thing about Venus is that like it's dead, but secrets lie underneath. Like, what was the inscription on Venus? Um, the the jungles of Venus hold great secrets, I believe it was. And yeah, like, or even remastering the Oryx's ship, the Dreadnought, would be quite amazing, considering that um it's an area famous for secrets. Like, what's the Cosmodrome? It doesn't really feel like that special of an area compared to say Venus or Mars. Like, the only thing possibly more dead than it would either be the Reef, Saturn, like the rings of Saturn, not like the ship, like the rings itself, or the moon. The Cosmodrome it's not really vibrant. It's like the jungle of Venus. It's like teeming with like life, while like when I picture it, I see like life overtaking like buildings, sort of like a post-apocalyptic world where like people would vanish in like 1,000 years. You see like buildings, and you see like the nature overtaking it. Like, I see Mars as like a desert with like a bunch of vaults hidden underneath the surface with great treasure and a great reward. The Cosmodrome doesn't really feel like Dark Age of like a place to remaster, but then again, they could do a good job. But why would um why would you only have one strike? Like, the Taken King was great. It had 4 different strikes of like literally one for each race. The Dark Blade for the Hive, the Shield Brothers for the Cabal, the Restorative Mind for the Vex, and the Saber Shank for the Fallen. Like, at least have if you're going to do something related to like the War Minds, where you could at least have something related to, I don't know, like the Vex, but on Venus, or perhaps the Hive, because Omnigul breached an area. What if she found the location of a vault? I mean, it's probably same thing with the Saber. I'm pretty sure that's the story behind the Saber. But regardless, it would be a great thing to have at least like some variety. If you have one strike, well, like the Machinist, I believe it's called, it doesn't really add for too much variety. It feels almost like as small as the April update. And it feels like it should have. It feels like something adding on to the Taken King, as opposed to being a standalone expansion. Now, I'll admit the Cosmodrome did look pretty cool, and Bungie does seem to have some success. But let's look at the 2 possibilities that could have happened, and compare it to the Rise of Iron. The 2 possibilities were the Forge of Gods, a Cabal DLC, and the Vex Void, a Vex DLC. And let's break each one of them down, starting with the Forge of Gods. Perhaps the most appealing part about the Forge of Gods is the fact that we never really had a Cabal DLC before, and most of the stuff we know about the Cabal was just discovered in the Taken King. So it will be a great addition to include in as a follow-up. Because in a grimoire card, it was there was like a battle where it shows like one of the shield, like from the perspective of like a shield brother fighting against like a Vex invasions, and it shows the Empire for like what it truly is. Like if they were to build upon that, like let's just say like a new legion came in, or perhaps like a hidden legion of say like assassins, or I don't know, it's like something like underneath Phobos that were like controlling it, were to be implemented into the game, or yeah, like with that story, it would provide quite an interesting experience, mainly because of the fact that like I said, we never really had a Cabal DLC, and all the enemies do feel kind of dull. Like what? You have the foot soldiers, guys with shields, the heavies, and the light guys, the light mages. This is really starting to feel like an MMO. But in all honesty, if we were to introduce a new enemy type, say, like we don't, there's not really Cabal snipers. Like you would have, like the Fallen and the Vex of snipers, and the Boomers are technically like long range weapons. What long range weapons do the Cabal have? What were they again? All right, there's none. As a result, like that's a great opportunity. Or you can have like real like other CQC units. Like you have like shield, you have like defensive units like the phalanxes, right? But what if you were to have like say like a shotgun unit that would provide cover for like the shield unit provide cover for the shotgun unit, and the shotgun unit will in turn prevent like use CQC to prevent like sort of to protect the shield, right? That'd be a great story. But like it would like even though that these do feel kind of like dull ideas. What like seriously? What if here's the story for you. What if a new legion, or like a whole like collection of legions in came to our solar system after Oryx's dreadnought was like, well, like I wouldn't say really just like disavowed, like there wasn't, like it was no longer a threat, because as you know, like the Cabal Emperor actually basically told the Shield Brothers to go on a suicide mission to crash the dreadnought, to crash their ship into the dreadnought. So you can actually have like set up the Emperor as a like character, sort of like an enemy character, like on comms. Sort like I play I used to play Call of Duty, and you'd hear like the enemy on comms like talking, and it just provide like a nice like means of like story. But as a result of like this Emperor, like more powerful legions will come. And there I read this whole like lore segment about how like Phobos was destabilized by the Scion Flayers, and I thought, what if say Phobos was used as, or like just like not even Phobos, what if the moon, like literally like Luna, our moon, was hijacked by the Scion Flayers and was sent like crashing down onto Earth? How crazy! And like you literally have to go on it, disrupt the the path of it, or like even destroy the moon. How crazy would that be? That'd be like, in my opinion, that's insane. That type of story. As a result, we have like this whole like opportunity to explore on like the Scion Flayers, because you know the Scion Flayers are part of a sect known as the Ice Reapers. And literally no other enemy is part of that sect. So you can expand on that. You can expand on the Flayers themselves. You can even expand on like the different types of enemy soldiers within the Cabal, because you know, what makes a like, I'm pretty sure like a Colossus and say like a Phalanx would be of like different races, or maybe not. Maybe different maybe different subspecies. I don't know. Like you could really go deep into the lore. Like with House of Wolves, they went really deep into Fallen lore, and that's another reason why the Rise of Iron wouldn't really succeed so well, because and lore-wise, House of Wolves covered a lot. Anyway, now I want to talk about the Vex Void, perhaps the even greater DLC of the two. Although if the Force of Gods was made before it, I'm pretty sure Bungie will do a great job. But in terms of potential, I think the Vex Void is much greater in that aspect. Here's why. We also never really had a formal Vex expansion, even though you could say that most of the base game is Vex, with the last mission being focused on the Black Garden, and the raid being focused on the Vault of Glass. But in actuality, there is much potential when dealing with the Vex. Mainly because they're such like a flexible character, in all honesty. You don't really know much about them, other than the fact that even though they're the most mysterious, they're not the most powerful. And as a result, maybe they'll forego some of this mysteriousness in order to gain power, when they start getting more powerful to be revealed. But in all honesty, here's an even greater concept than what I think of the story of Rise of Iron would be. What if Siva was actually located inside of like a vault in Campus 9, and instead of and like let's just say like in the Sabershank files, like Rasputin actually listed the location of the SIBA virus, and the House of Winter, who I believe who helped create the Saber, would look at the files. And because they were technically like losing its strength, like we eliminated a lot of their stuff. We eliminated their kill, the prime server is gone, their ship basically invaded, and I believe it's controlled by the Vanguard. Like one of their Archon priests, who one of the potential Archon priests did was end up killed. So like they would want to seize power, and they discovered SIVA, but in the end it started corrupting and corrupting them, so instead of using them themselves like the Splicers did, they used it on the Vex, corrupting, say, about like 20% of them, of the Vex, right? Oh, good. But the Vex are already having problems, because being an organic machine hybrid, you know, like basically the only thing organic about them is their fluid, but that is enough for them to be taken, right? But what if some of the Vex were actually like possessed by SIVA? So now you have a three-way conflict, and let's just say the SIVA Vex and the Taken Vex would end up fighting with the original Vex, and as a result there would be missions where the Vex would have to like ask for your services, like they did in the Paradox mission against the Taken. But like let's just say like a Mercury per se. Then you can introduce characters like Osiris and the Misundaresh, which is basically the actual stranger, or who I believe to be the stranger. But even then, like there's just so much like in the lore, like you read about like the Vex Hive War, and the Vex did quite a number on like really powerful Hive, and that just shows you like their power. And how cool it would be in a raid boss. I even have 2 potential raid boss ideas. Like, what if in the raid you can actually fight like Aurash, like originally, or Oryx, not to take Oryx to Taken King, like AURIX as opposed to ORYX, like basically a simulation of like a younger Oryx, but like at the same time you would be like detained, or even better, you fight Quoria. Quoria is basically basically the original, like basically a Vex Crota. This dude made Crota his batch. Like seriously, like without Oryx, he might have basically just completely destroyed the Hive. Like this, like I mean, Oryx did destroy him, gave him to Savathun, but Savathun is really likes to start some stuff. It's only what, and you know, like what if she like I'm pretty sure in the next Hive DLC you're gonna like probably fight her, because she's gonna become like Taken Queen. But what if she was like a mastermind, it was like organizing all these events? But anyway, that's just a theory, a technique thing now I'm playing. But in all seriousness, the Vex are much greater like enemy potential in terms of Fallen, because the Fallen are like dying, as opposed to like the Vex, who just feel like they're suffering like a minor setback in terms of the Taken. And when the Taken are gone, who's gonna stop them? The Cabal legions are mostly gone, the Fallen houses are crippled, the Hive are left leaderless and basically without image, and the Vex just need to regain their focus. Think about it. Which one of these factions? Then the Taken just exist, really. I mean, they don't have a purpose. Other maybe like I mean, other than the formless ones, like occasional like whisperings, they don't really have any like purpose. Like the Vex, so far I think are the strongest enemy. Their strongest type of faction next to us. So they would be the greatest type of enemy, and not to mention, we basically we like out of all the areas to explore, would you rather explore Mercury? Would you want to explore the Europa, like the moon of Jupiter, which is where the Exos were made, or just some crappy region imaginary of the Cosmodrome? Anyway, before we end this video, I'll just like for future commentaries, I want to show like a potential exotic idea that I had. So here we go. This is an exotic rocket launcher unlocked by defeating Zivu Arth or Savathun in an upcoming Hive raid. or perhaps maybe in a Vex raid that could simulate the high Vex form. Anyway, the rocket launcher looks very similar to the hard, well, to the ASYLUM's friendly, except like the hard version with the black and red. Except there's actual like flames just like jetting out of it, and it has like an aura of like a radiance, like have a sun, like you're right, like there's a sun inside your rocket launcher. Anyway, the perks would go as follows. The sites are where you can prioritize like some velocity and blast radius. You could prioritize blast radius or pure blast radius or pure velocity. So one more time, the top site of velocity blast radius, like half and half. Then there's pure velocity, pure blast radius. The first, the intrinsic perk would go as so. Basically, it will allow you to you only have one rocket in the magazine, but if when you press R1 to shoot the rocket, but if you press R1 while it's in the air, the 8 rockets will split, and they each will detonate like a smaller explosion, but like on a greater area. The first perk is cluster bombs. Like when the rocket hits like a surface or each individual rocket, it would split into 8 cluster bombs, and if you press R1 in the air, it splits to 8 into mini rockets. You will actually have 64 cluster bombs, quite an area of impact. But if you think that's something, just wait. Okay, the middle tier perks would go as follows. You can there's a typical blast rate, increased blast radius. There's increased warhead velocity, warhead velocity would go as follows. Like there's the initial warhead, then there was a 1.5 increase, like the mini rockets, and then with the last rock, and for the last perk is quite an interesting one. When you kill an enemy, you sacrifice a grenade and melee charge for 25% of your super. If you have those 2 grenade and melee charges, you get 25% of your super with the rocket, and when you pick up an ammo crate, you only have 2 rockets, so use them wisely. The last and final rocket is if you press R1 after the first time with the fire button, those 8 mini rockets, they each individually launch into 8 smaller mini rockets, and each cluster bomb will hit there will be 8 cluster bombs for each individual rocket. You can't spam it because of the fact that the 8 rockets will fly into themselves. So you have to wait out just a little bit, and this and you only have one rocket, and it doesn't really have tracking. So even if you you can't really say it's kind of broken in PvP because of the fact that if you were to miss your one shot, even with the additional blast radiuses, you're basically screwed. Now, what makes this rocket interesting, is the fact that it can, its blast radius, its stats are kind of weird, where its blast radius will actually exceed the maximum and go above and beyond what it normally could. However, in order to do this, you would have to do pure blast radius, and your warheads will travel very, very slowly. As a result, you can do the opposite, where you have where you have full velocity, and with your mini rockets will go at the speed of, say, sort of like when a Bladeenter is going for his blink strike, that lunge, it would go at that speed, but the blast radius would be kind of tiny, and what blast radius will also affect is the bounce distance of the cluster bombs, and this you have to choose whether you'd want maximum blast radius or maximum velocity, or somewhere in between. And this is mainly a PvE weapon, because in PvP, while you can just rain fire on an area, it wouldn't really be too viable. However, in PvE, it's more of like a high risk, high reward type of thing. Like, this is great, like if you were to jump up in an area, look down, and just unload hell upon to like a huge circle around you. Like, can you picture this? Like Like you shoot one rocket, splits into 8 rockets, then splits into 8 more rockets, and each one of those lands on the floor, and it creates like a huge carpet of fire, and then 8 more like little things bounce out and create an even slightly bigger carpet of like a circle of fire. Oh my god, can you guys imagine that? Anyway, tell me what you think about this commentary in the comment section. This is TAC Nuke signing off, and I'll see you next